What's up guys, welcome back for another episode. And it's been a while since I grabbed the camera and just vlogged. But I do want to mention this video, as you can see from the title and thumbnail, one of the best modifications I've done in 2024 has been the brake pads. And in this video, we're going to discuss it. We're also going to be seeing some changes to the G80. We're going to be taking the E88s off. I know a lot of people are a fan of the LMRs, and the LMRs are going back on, but the E88s are not going anywhere. They're going to be staying in the garage, and I love the look of it. I definitely think a lot of people have liked the LMRs because I believe it's a bigger wheel, and a lot of people say it does fit the car better. But when you look at the E88s, between how flush of a fitment it is, it looks so good between the thicker sidewall, right? We have a 35 sidewall Yokohama's AO52s, and this just looks so good right on the car. I will give credit when it's due. The LMRs do look amazing, so it's very difficult when I put these on to see which one I loved better, but it's a tough decision for me, which is why I'm going to keep both. There's no reason for me to get rid of either one of them. So I know a lot of you guys have been asking me, are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell the LMRs? I am definitely not going to sell either. And maybe in the future, we may add another set of wheels. But that's just in the future. And as you can see, these are the LMRs, right? If you guys have watched previous episodes or follow me on Instagram, these are the LMRs. These are a custom three-piece LMRs from AR Motorworks, and they did an amazing job on giving me the champagne, brushed champagne finish along with the really aggressive setup. And in the future, I actually have a nice rack coming where I could store my wheels, especially the E88s that are going to be basically sideline along with my stock wheels. We're going to store it against the wall here. But there's a lot of things I need to do in the garage. One thing is definitely the lighting in here. The lighting is something that I'm probably going to be taking the splurge on. We're probably going to wait for the Obsessed Garage Black Friday sale and then order the 3-car garage lighting kit and get this installed, because right now I'm using these lights I got from Amazon. They do somewhat of a justice, but it just, for my purpose of getting high quality videos in here, having the proper lighting will probably be key. And eventually I want to do the floors. I do want to do Swiss tracks and have the floors all tidied up. There's been slow projects that I've done, and one thing that you guys see right now is my mini split in the garage. Definitely a lifesaver. And I know I'm going on a little tangent, but just want to give you guys an update. And also this wash system. This has been something that has been amazing. Currently, it makes my car washes a lot simpler. I will jump back onto a wash cast and kind of give you guys a little update. And it's always fun for me to, wash the car and talk about life, talk about changes in, whether the business aspect or just in my life in general. So it's always good to do that. So like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I say one of the best modifications I've done for the G80 M3 has been the brake pads is because, let me raise the car up. I know the guys at PSI mentioned if I'm jacking the car up, I should have my front raised. And if you guys are wondering what's going on, I do have air cups in the front, so it's basically coilovers with a system where I could air up and still be on a static stance. But going back into it, the reason why I say one of the best things is definitely the brake pads is because the amount of headaches that I know a lot of people complain about with the brake dust, and even myself, I complain a lot about the brake dust with the stock pads. Look, the stock pads are great. I know you could track them, light track, nothing crazy, and definitely spirited drives. You could definitely do that. But if you're OCD like myself, and some of you guys are probably clicking on this video can relate, having a ton of brake dust kind of gets annoying. I know, Some people don't care about that. They care more about the performance of it. But if you're the type of person that really cares about brake dust, number one, and also cares about the annoying noise from the stock brake pads, where it sounds like a freight train is basically stopping. These brake pads definitely eliminate the noise, and it also eliminates the amount of dust that comes off of it. So on this setup right now, the last time I washed the car was probably 2 weeks ago. I've probably put on maybe like 150 miles on it, and I'll show you how much brake dust is on it, which is not a lot. So if you're like me and you opted not to get the carbon ceramic brakes, look, the carbon ceramic brakes is definitely like a flex. Is it something that you need? Probably not. If you're tracking the car, definitely you shouldn't get it, because what happens is when you keep taking it to the track, the wear and tear kind of accelerates the rotors and also the pads. And to replace a rotor, I think it's about $4 grand. Pads, I don't know how much it costs. It's very expensive. Meanwhile, if you go the non-carbon ceramic brakes, you can replace the pads and also rotors a lot more cost effective. What I will say though, everybody has a different, like when you go with the pads, right? It depends on what you've tested. Look, back in the day when I had a G80M car, I've done EBC Reds before, I've done Hawk pads. From my experience, these are the PSI SP1 pads, and this is my experience, and this is what I'm gonna share with you guys. If I had a chance, an opportunity to test some eye sweeps or any other brands like EBC Reds, I would give you guys my input, but as of right now, I have no other experience with that, and if you guys have any experience, let me know down in the comments. That shit's on there tight. So let's use a breaker bar to get this off. Oh. Way better. So I've had the PSI SP1 pads for over almost a year. I think the last time I got them installed was back in December. So right now we're towards the middle and the end of November. And from my experience, throughout this 1 year period, it has been life-changing. And what I mean life-changing is that, like I mentioned earlier, if you're the type of person that the brake dust bothers you, then upgrading to any ceramic pads would be very ideal, and will make a significant change on your everyday life. So towards the end, I'm gonna show you guys exactly how dirty these wheels are. And again, I probably drove about 2 hours, about 150 miles on these wheels, stop and go traffic, especially coming from Miami. The last time I took the car to Miami was when we went to Active, when we got the new exhaust setup put on. So that was pretty far away, and plus I haven't washed the car since then, and it's probably gonna get a wash later this week. But I'll leave them right over there. So one thing I wanted to mention is that when you do change the pads itself, here's one way I could describe it. When I changed the pads to the SP1 pads from the stock brake pads, normally before that, my wheels would get so much dirtier than the exterior of the car. I would, most of the time, wash my car because my wheels were dirty. And if you guys can relate to that, let me know. I know a lot of people will wash their car because their wheels are dirty. So a good way to, I guess, show the difference is that now that I've changed the pads, the amount of brake dust that gets caught up on the wheels, it kind of matches on how dirty the car gets, right? Within reason, right? I'm not talking about driving through a rainstorm or like a muddy road. I'm talking about everyday normal driving, you know, dry weather. The amount of dirt that gets on the wheels, it kind of equivalates to the amount of dirt that gets onto the car. So this way, when I wash the car, when I want to wash the car, the amount of dirt on the wheels is about the same as on the paint. Normally, before the pads, it would be like caked on brake dust. The polish slip would be a nice coating of bronze on it. And the good thing about having LMRs is that, at least the brushed champagne, is that it kind of matches with the kind of gold texture already because of the brake dust. But even with the E88s, it's such a light finish that you could see the brake dust, and I'm telling you right now, it's really not bad. Especially in the front where the massive pads are. It's been so game changing that, you know, again, I had to share another video with you guys. But also, in the end of this video, I'm gonna tell you why I'm throwing these back on. And a lot of people will think it's kind of controversial what I'm about to do next, but it is what it is. It's my car. So before I decided to throw these wheels back on, the LMRs, what I did was I actually stripped up all the dirt, grime, and road grime, and also old ceramic coating to throw back onto the car, because I wanted to ceramic coat the wheels again to protect it from, you know, just the road grime out there. And just to give you an idea, ceramic coating on wheels do not last long. And the reason why is because the amount of heat that gets pushed out from the brakes, and then the exposure of the brake dust, that all corrodes the ceramic coating. So it's good to kind of give it a refresh depending on how much you drive. For me, I basically stripped it out and I threw on some G82M rim, as you can see right over here. This stuff has been amazing, super easy to use. And I know a lot of people that have difficulties using ceramic coating where, you know, what happens is if you basically leave the ceramic coating on for too long, it gets very difficult to take off. This is not. You know, I left it on for about 15-20 minutes between, you know, doing each rim, and it's not difficult at all. So definitely want to thank the team over at Gion for sending this over. They always help maintain my vehicle. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Ken, LMRs are the better wheel. Yeah, I get it. It's my car, end of the day. I like to switch it up here and there. And there's nothing wrong with having multiple pairs of shoes, you know? And it's always good to check if there's any nails so you can kind of get that addressed before you throw these wheels back on in the future and realize you do have a nail in the tire. So luckily I don't have any nails in the tire, so we'll continue with the rest of it. I'm not gonna lie, just looking at the contrast of these wheels against the Amolo red paint, I forgot how much I love these wheels. That's why when I first took them off, people were asking me like, hey, are you gonna sell them? In my head, I was like, definitely not, unless you wanna pay me an egregious amount of money. But definitely didn't wanna sell them. I think these look amazing. Again, it's tough for me to decide which one's a better set of wheels. So go back into the pads. For the past year of having these pads on the car, you know, a lot of people complain about the cost. I do get it. They're more expensive than your normal pads from EBC Reds. But this Black Friday, which is the day you're seeing this video right now, PSI is actually having a sale. I believe for the set of pads, it'll be $6.99 instead of the normal $8.99. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And I'm not sure if my discount code is going to work, but you could try it out. Normally it would save you 10% off. So if you're seeing this after the fact, you could use my discount code and it's going to save you 10% off. I think this is one of the things that you should definitely do regardless if you have aftermarket wheels or stock wheels, especially if you have stock wheels. The stock wheels, the patterns of the wheel is so intricate that it's a pain in the ass to clean. And if you, And I know about it because I've dealt with that so many times already. All right, so what I'm gonna do is film the other side off camera, and then I'm gonna come back to this video and tell you guys exactly what's gonna go on this Wednesday and the reason why I have these wheels back on, right? And a lot of people are gonna think that it's something that, oh, you shouldn't do, maybe get some, we'll get into that in a little bit. So give me like a second because you're about to see me get done and then get back into this video. All right, so one major reason why I'm gonna be getting these wheels thrown on is because these wheels are actually really aggressive, right? When I tell people about the LMRs and the setup I have, you definitely need camber plates in the front, right? And you also definitely need to, work out your camber in the rear with maybe some SPL arms and stuff. And okay, I probably could adjust the SPL arms a little bit more to get that proper, fitment where it doesn't rub. So what happens is, when I'm in the car solo, I don't rub with this setup. What happens is when I have my family in the car, my son, my wife, the rears I tend to rub, which you could kind of see right over here. You see some of these marks along the tires. This is all rubbing from either the inner fender or there's like a little lip inside that we're gonna get into in the next video on Wednesday. And what happens is, the SPL arms could push the wheels further in, and I could make that adjustment. What I wanted to do is to get a really flush fitment. And I was talking to the guy with the white G80, which is Habibi Mobile Detailing. He basically has a white G80 M3, and he's gone to this place and has gotten his fenders worked on. And I know a lot of people don't like rolling fenders and things like that, but there's gonna be a lot of custom work being done, and end of the day, it's gonna look OEM. You're not gonna see any difference on the exterior of the car. You're not gonna see any different textures or different shapes of the exterior, which is something that I do not wanna change. But when it comes to having the proper stance and being safe with it, you definitely wanna either, a lot of people are gonna be like, you should get wheels that fit. I don't care. I want the most aggressive wheel on my car and to have that nice stance. And sometimes you kind of have to go a little bit with the customization of either getting SPL arms, like I said, camber plates, and also maybe doing some fender work. And what happens is, this one place, there's a lip inside here, right? And what they're gonna be doing is helping me shave that lip and also sealing it back up. You're not gonna see any difference on the outside. It's gonna look like OEM finish, but I can feel some areas where it's rubbing. And it's rubbing right over here, and it's just a little bit, right? It's not a lot. So again, having that done is gonna alleviate a lot of those issues. And as you can see in the front here, what happens in the past, when I threw the E88s on, the front was super aggressive, and I kind of had to throw on a little bit more negative camber. And what that did was, it made this area here on my LMRs more sunken in. You can definitely see where the negative camber is. I'm definitely gonna get another alignment after all this is done. But there's actually a lip inside here. There's a lip inside here that actually protrudes. And what they can do is kind of roll this in and either shave it off. And what happens is, now you have a flush fender that has no restrictions of where your tires are gonna be. So that's something that they're gonna work on, and that's gonna be the entire vlog of that. So I know a lot of you guys are curious about the wheels, right? So these are the brake pads, right? And this is about, like I said, 2 hours of driving and about, I would say stop and go traffic and about 150 miles. I'm gonna show you here. These are the rear wheels, which is obviously the smaller brake pad. But just to give you an idea, that's like nothing, right? And you can see from here, there's really not much brake dust or anything like that from here. Let me know if you see any dirt on here, but this is pretty clean. The real testament is actually for the front wheels. And let's check those out. So these are the front wheels. They look very clean, and you can barely see any dust on there. And let's raise the ISO a little bit. You could kind of see a little bit of dust there, but it's not a lot, right? That's all the dust you have on there. And one of the things that's good about ceramic pads, I know I'm wearing a pair of black gloves, so it's a little bit difficult to see, but let me show you again. You know, if I could show you right now, there's really not much dust, very little bit. So again, I think if you guys are contemplating about changing set of pads, highly recommend the PSI SP1 pads. And again, I'll leave the link down below in the description and also a discount code. And I think it might work for Black Friday, maybe, maybe not. And again, if you're watching this after Black Friday, then definitely use that code. It'll save you 10% on the brake pads, and something that you definitely want to do because it will change your outlook on cleaning your car. All right, guys, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Again, it's been a while since I picked up the camera, but it was good to vlog for you guys. Stay tuned. What's coming up, like I said, it's going to be the custom fender work. And again, it's something that a lot of people don't like, but again, it's my car, and I'm going to take you guys along the process. And maybe this is something that you guys want to do on your car. But also in a future vlog that you guys are going to have to look at is that we are going to be doing a charity, right? It's charity at Euro Tuning. And what we're asking everybody to do, if you do attend, is to bring an unwrapped toy or $10, and all the money gets donated to the charities. And for me, it means something for me now these days, because like when you're donating toys, okay, you could donate toys to kids that are unfortunate or are in a bad spot, or you know, something has happened in their family where they can't take care of them in that you know, during this holiday. Now being a father, for me, it means a lot more, right? I've been a father for over a year, and it's been one of the most amazing things in my life. And to be able to, you know, give something back to the community, especially the ones that really need, it just humbles my being to be able to do that. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope to see a lot of you guys that are in the Central Florida or even South Florida region at Euro Tuning, where we're going to have this charity. So other than that, I want to thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys on the next video.